I got another thing. I've done all the side modes. So if I do that, let's see about the missions. A couple of things I have to do. I'm gonna do some of these today, basically.
Add Ash.
I mean, I don't have to try and get this max this week. Got my time to finish it. A couple days left before this ends. Hopefully I can do this tomorrow in time. First things first. Like this. Like this. I hate this. Mostly because I'm getting hit by hay fever. Dun, dun, dun.
This isn't my first trek into the desert, but I can never get used to the heat. Is there no shade anywhere?
Sure. So the few things I wanted to do is get this I should probably either have to buy them or hunt or farm them. That is something I should do. Mhm.
Cleanse, solidify.
This may hurt a little.
Salvation belongs to the abyss.
Committed to memory. Make yourselves at home.
Rain Cutter, know my sword. Rain outlines your fate.
Sin. One more sin upon your soul.
Boing, boing, boom!
Fight your salvation.
Jumpy Dumpty go!
So in the end, all shall return.
Um, 33, that's enough. That's a piece. Yeah, I think that's enough. 12 and...
Allow me! Grow, grow, grow!
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, give me it.
Ah!
Now,
We should make the most of these supplies. Rest and rebuild! Committed to memory! Grow, grow, grow! Ridiculous! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Scanning.
Committed to memory! Yeah.
Come at me.
Yeah. Let's move out.
that's another dendron. Mm-hmm. Dun-dun. Oh yeah, that's something I need to do. So there are things I need to do. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
mind the side effects.
Sight clear. Feast your eyes. Kya. Tuh. Tay. Cha. Scanning.
This might hurt a little. Hold the line.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Come at me.
Grow. I wonder who this gift could be from.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hey,
Another test subject.
allow me.
Scanning.
The wrong test subject.
What a lucky find. Bet that's made your day.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore you for now. I do need to fight you guys as well.
Hold the line.
Sight clear.
Everyone hold hands. Let's move up. Hey! Allow me! Let's move out. Sharing my knowledge. Covenant of the Deep. Let's move out. Committed to memory. This might hurt a little. Hold the line. Allow me. Grow.
Scanning. Ha. Hip.
Grow. This might.
Sight clear. at me!
Grow, grow, grow! Rest and rebuild! Yeah, let's... Maybe there's even more buried below! Da da da!
I might just buy some of those as well. Should be able to buy these, right? There's another tier.
Cleo is a brave girl today. I found a really weird-looking lizard. Want me to show it to you?
What are my orders?
Let's move out. Hold the line!
Access denied. Beautiful treasures are a cause for great happiness.
Allow me!
Glaze over. No touching. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then.
Probably use an interactive map for more. Yeah, Ruin Drake.
Rest and rebuild!
Access denied. We're way behind schedule.
Yes, I have to break that. Let's check the map a bit.
Yeah.
This is long overdue. Perhaps whoever left these...
Let's see. Let's not try and find
was
that
also
one.
fulfilling a contract. Next on the agenda... We're way behind schedule. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then.
The doctor will see.
Next on the agenda... behind schedule. Next on the agenda, no touching.
Hold the line.
Looks like I went too far.
Access denied. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then. We're way behind schedule.
See below? Yeah, I said I was doing quest, but I ended up just not doing it. I'll do it in a bit. I really don't want to also be able to upgrade a weapon. Although I don't think I'll use it, but I want to get upgraded. I should have just spare time again.
Next on the agenda,
What? So all that running around was for this?
Shang Shang, behave.
Fast it will be. Yeah, too tiny. That's kind of annoying. I'll just drop you
There's
off
still
for
some-
now.
I see everything. Rust and rebuild.
born of ice and frost. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then. Next on the agenda, touching. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then.
Let's see.
Everyone hold hands.
Glaze over. Born of ice and frost.
Everyone hold hands.
Need a lot of these. Can you grow these actually? Okay, I don't think you can. I think that counts as specialties.
I see everything. Hold the line. Committed to memory. Everyone hold hands.
No touching. Born of ice and frost. Next on the agenda.
I don't think there's a lot of targets. Yeah, it's not that many spots to find them, so... I don't think I can climb this way, can I? I'll just swap it casually for a moment.
Sounds good to me.
Can't see.
I'll take care of this.
Hopefully this...
Access denied. We're way behind schedule. Beautiful treasures are a cause for great happiness. Next on the agenda... Born of Ice and Frost. Beautiful treasures are... Ah, the air is just right.
Below.
Take. Huh.
No touching! We're way behind schedule.
I think that's all they'll show. On the map it should be here.
Next on the agenda...
Rest and rebuild!
Access denied. Next on the agenda... There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then.
It looks so high up. Like up there? Hope not.
We're
Hope
way
that
behind schedule. Next on the agenda.
Okay, this one. Okay, so I'll just go here to find those things.
Touching.
Mind the side effects.
Perhaps whoever left these behind was also fulfilling a contract. We're way behind schedule.
Fried chicken.
Hold the line.
Born of ice and frost.
The doctor will see you now. Allow me.
Mind the side effects.
We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda.
There should be one here.
We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda.
Hold the line.
Next on the agenda.
That is all of them today. I don't have to convert them all. And it's 18 in total. Have to go back to farming more of these when I'm
If you lie on the grass, you can feel the heartbeat of the world.
What does Kirara really need? I have no idea what she needs. Yeah, whatever.
This realm.
I need to chop wood. Should probably look for some wood chopping routes.
If you ever...
So let's see. I spent almost an hour doing nothing I was going to. Kind of wish I have free time again.
There are still so many places for us to explore.
Hmm. Uh,
Ready for reconnaissance.
I should probably just. Maybe I should just get this ascended. This actually does fit her aesthetically. Hmm. Let's fit her height nine. Hmm. It's like 8. Sometimes it's worth just getting the refund.
Something on your mind again? Let's work through it together. Two heads are better than one. What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
It's about the same. So there's booze. Let's see with average, so usually it's 80 with riding. So that's 170. Usually go compare with official. $80, $90 to $30. Or Saru. I'll do Saru at 80, 80, 160, 270. So that's about, was it 300? So 380, so that's 240, about 330. So 330 times 0.15, I guess. But it's not really worth me using it on the overworld, so
If you're not sure what to do next, how about I take you on a walk? Let's find shelter, or mushrooms will start growing on our heads.
which way does it go again? Goes this way.
Beg for mercy.
Yeah, she just... Yeah, this feels bad on her then. Scout Patch is a really bad weapon, isn't it?
More speed.
Just The scout probably does fit her aesthetically.
Beg for mercy. Huh. Yeah. Huh.
A bitter pill to swallow. Mind the side effects. A bitter pill to swallow.
More speed. More speed. Quick, under the umbrella, or you'll get soaked. Shudder! More speed.
I was convenient.
Mind the side effects.
I see everything. Hey,
Or you can just do that to collect them all. I haven't checked this for a while. I think that's all the stuff I can. I think Toby can sell seeds, right?
This realm is... If you ever have...
So, right now, you can grow Cecilias, and when we are asked this, so you can grow specialties if they add it. So, that's just basically they didn't add it as a specialty option.
cat can talk.
The doctor will see you now.
Hmm. Dun. I got it. That doesn't count.
Mind the side effects.
I still don't have haste, so that reminds me.
I can do it.
So don't have Kirara, don't have Mika, don't have Dea, don't have you, don't have you, don't have Ito, and Child. So in terms of limited, I'm down 3.
That cat can talk.
Animal test 6308. Stand clear.
I should try burning them next time.
Rebooting. Ad Astra Abyssos. Thank you for completing.
Ooh, you restaurant? That place isn't even worth mentioning.
Hmm. Hmm.
Order guide you. Gather.
Huh?
Dawn, break forth. I will have order.
Everybody stand back!
Out of the frying pan.
dawn, break forth!
Let's light it up!
Hmm?
Order guide you. Stabilize.
I'm going in! Huh? Nice and spicy. Eat this!
Lay waste to the wicked. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Ah. There's potential with this one. So the best stat is EM. And I want these all in crit. ER's alright. I want it mostly crit rate though. Crit damage is... What's the worst? Hmm. Yeah, I still think I want the crit rate. Hmm.
I will have order.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
At the frying pan, into the fire. You're toast.
Lay waste to the wicked. Solidify.
Let's light it up!
Nice and spicy.
I'm going in! Huh. Adventure time!
This is order.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Huh?
Gooba, get them. Hey, yeah.
Flames, purge!
Hmm. Mm. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Hmm.
Let's take a moment to rest and plan our next move. Every course of action has its risks. Be careful.
No.
Every course of action has its risks. Be careful. Let's take a moment to rest and plan our next move.
Let's do a bit more you.
We should prepare while we can, then make a preemptive strike against the enemy. Every course of action has its risks. Be careful.
This world is full of unsolved mysteries.
We'll need a strategy.
merchants flock and all ships dock. Now I understand what that saying was trying to describe. Still, nothing beats seeing it with your own eyes.
Welcome to Liyue Harbor. I hope you had a smooth journey. Lady Ningguang instructed me to wait for you here.
Hmm? Oh, it's Ningguang's secretary! Which Bai is it again?
It's Baiwen. I assist Lady Ningguang with collecting and organizing intelligence.
That's right, Baiwen! Paimon remembers now. The other two are Baishir and Baishao.
Lady Ningguang? You mean Tianxuan of the Liyue Qixing?
Yep, that's her. But why does Ningguang want to see us? Wait, and how does she even know that we'd be arriving in Liyue Harbor today?
Lady Ningguang likes to stay informed. Nothing slips through her intelligence network. She wishes to invite our visitor from Fontaine, Mademoiselle Charlotte, to join her at Eugene Terrace to discuss cooperation.
What would she want with me? This is the first time I've ever been to Liyue Harbor.
Lady Ningguang has known of you for quite some time. A talented and capable journalist with the Steambird who writes insightful, engaging, and, most importantly, factual prose. She rather admires your work. She also understands that in revealing the truth to your exclusive news, you have offended some interested parties that have been pulling strings behind the scenes. And that is why you have been sent on an international reporting trip to cover the Genius Invocation TCG events.
Wait, what? That's terrible! Oh, poor Charlotte.
No, it's just part of the job. I'm already used to it. But I'm surprised to learn that Lady Ningguang knows so much about my situation. Does she know my boss or something?
Paimon wouldn't be surprised. She seems to know everyone and everything.
Lady Ningguang also welcomes the two of you to join, if you're interested.
Oh, you didn't tell me you were best buddies with Lady Ningguang.
Oh, Paimon wouldn't go that far. We've just been invited to the Jade Chamber as honored guests a couple times. You know.
Yes, that's the humble bragging Paimon.
But anyway, if Ningguang wants to discuss work stuff with Charlotte, it's probably gonna be best if we stay out of the way, right? Maybe we can go ask around about the card snatcher while you have your meeting with Ningguang.
Oh, are you sure?
Absolutely no for
All right,
that.
thanks. Then I'll leave you to it. Let's catch up and swap notes later. I'm actually pretty excited to meet Lady Ningguang, so I don't want to keep her waiting.
Very well. Please, Mademoiselle Charlotte, follow me.
See you two later.
Sounds like Charlotte's a top-notch journalist, huh? Paimon's not sure what that exclusive news is all about, but it definitely sounds like a big deal. And if she manages to write up an article about this card snatcher case, we'll be featured in her exclusive news too!
It feels like we're about to become famous.
Here's the focus.
Yep, you're right. Okay, why don't we start asking around at the docks? There's always a lot of people coming and going. Maybe someone's seen people trading cards there.
Five times speedy equals...
Hey there, got a question for ya.
Hello. Ask away. If it's fish you want, I've got all the answers.
Actually, it's not about fish. We were just wondering, since you're here all day running your stall, have you seen anyone collecting card backs for Genius Invocation TCG?
Genius Invocation TCG. Afraid I don't know anything about that. People come here for blackback bass, but not card backs.
Really? Sorry to bother you then. We'll try our luck somewhere else.
Don't you want to buy some fish to take with you? All my fish are super fresh, you know.
Hi there! We'd like to ask you about something.
Oh, sure. Ask away. The ship's already set sail anyway, so I've got all the time in the world.
Have you seen anyone around here recently collecting card backs? You know, for that really popular game, Genius Invocation TCG?
Collecting card backs? I've definitely seen people around here playing the game, but I'm usually preoccupied with thinking about the sea. I've never paid too much attention to it.
It's fine. We'll ask someone else.
Oh, I really can't afford to wake up late next time.
Hi there. Can we ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead. I'll answer as best I can.
Have you noticed anyone here collecting card backs for Genius Invocation TCG recently?
Card backs? No, I'm afraid not. Sorry. Just before, a girl in Inazuman attire walked by, and I've been sneezing nonstop since.
Well, take care of yourself and get well soon. We'll keep asking around.
I'll be alright. While the Millilith stands guard, evil shall never prevail.
Well, this got off to a slow start. Let's try somewhere else.
Hey, you two. Looking for someone?
Huh? Paimon knows that voice. It's Kazuha!
Nice to see you again, Traveler and Paimon.
That's me.
Captain Beidou needed to return to Liyue to take care of some business, so I've been taking the chance to get to walk around town. It's a nice surprise to run into you two here. Looks like you have questions. May I be of any help?
Well, long story short,
I see. Well, the harbor breeze is as peaceful and pleasant as ever. I don't believe that the card snatcher you're looking for has been through here.
huh. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's good news or bad in your eyes. Oh, by the way, it seems there's a competition being held nearby. I stopped to have a look. This Genius Invocation TCG. It seems to be immensely popular at the moment.
Wait, have you never played it before, Kazuha?
No, I haven't. I have quietly observed from the side. The captain brought a small box aboard recently that contained a variety of beautifully illustrated cards. She enjoys playing with the crew while enjoying a few drinks. A few too many, perhaps.
That's called a casket of tomes. It's what you use to carry your cards in, and it helps you find players nearby, too. You should give it a try, Kazuha. The rules are pretty easy to pick up, and then you'll have a fun game to play with your friends.
A bit of a chance to learn.
Forging friendship through card-based combat does sound quite delightful. All right, then. Show me the ropes, if you please.
Paimon can teach you. Paimon's watched the Traveler play a ton of times, so even Paimon's a master invocator now. After we teach you the rules, we'll also have to get you a casket of tomes.
But what about this card snatcher you're looking for? Is not dealing with that more urgent at present?
Oh, good point. Paimon got so caught up chatting with our old friend that she nearly forgot about our promise to our new friend. Now where should we go next? Huh? Hey, look over there! Isn't that the Inazuman courier who Diona was chatting with back in Mondstadt? What's she doing here?
Ah, I just noticed the logo at her waist. Isn't that Komania Express?
Huh? Do you know that company, Kazuha?
Yes, I've heard of it. They provide delivery services in Inazuma.
Looks like she's having some trouble. Why don't we go and introduce ourselves?
Feeble gait, spindly legs, zero.
Which way is it from here?
Hey there! You look lost. Need any help?
You frightened the life out of me! Huh? Oh, I recognize you. Weren't you at the Cat's Tail in Mondstadt?
Yep, Paimon's name is Paimon, and these two are the Traveler and Kaitahara Kazuha. It's a strange coincidence running into you again.
Hello. Hello. My name's Kirara. I'm a courier for Inazuma's Komania Express.
I know Komania Express is widely praised for its punctual and safe delivery services, but I wasn't aware that the company had started operating internationally.
Wow, it's rare to meet a fellow Inazuman abroad. Our company just recently began expanding its services overseas, which is great for me because now I basically get paid to travel all around the world. Only downside is, I sometimes get a bit lost when it's my first time in a new city. Sometimes, when I'm running late, I even have to change back into my original form and climb over walls to make sure the parcel's on time. Do you happen to know the way to the Wangsheng funeral parlor? I feel like I've been going in circles all day.
Yeah, we know the place. We'll show you the way.
You will? Oh, thank you so much! Down on the ground, the dice spin around, while high in the sky, the sun shines bright. That last line could use some work.
Here we are. This is it.
Oh, White's the Traveler and Paimon. What brings you here? And I see you've brought some friends, clients, business partners, new associates.
Maybe leave the introductions to Paimon. This is Kaitahara Kazuha, and this is Kirara.
Hello, it is an honor to meet you.
Greetings, old friends and new. So, what brings you all to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor this fine day? Wait, don't tell me. Is it our latest promotion? Well, I'm touched that you journeyed all this way.
No, we were just giving Kirara directions.
Hello, ma'am. Are you Director Huta of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor? I'm your Komania Express courier, and we have a delivery for you. I just need to ask you for a signature. Let me see. Yes, I've been expecting this. Delivery services these days make everything so much easier. I used to have to send my consultant running to and fro for this kind of thing. Say, Kirara, how flexible is your company in terms of delivering different types of goods? How about a living person?
And what about someone who's more in between alive and dead? Her tails are standing up on end. Guess that's a no. Well, maybe we can talk about potentially expanding your company's services sometime.
Could I trouble you to take a moment and leave a 5-star review?
5 stars? Well, that's an odd number. Let's make it an even 6. No, much too low. Services Good deserves at least 8. In fact, 9. 1 extra for going the extra mile.
Oh, 5 stars will be plenty, really. But your enthusiasm means a lot. Alright, I should be on my way now. Thanks again for the directions.
You have it all together?
No, not necessarily. Business has been picking up lately, so the company has hired lots of new staff. But I handle all the international deliveries because I'm the quickest. I am a yokai after all.
So chances are that we'll see you on the road again soon.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Although, hopefully next time it won't be because I'm lost.
I heard you reciting a poem just now, Director Who. May I ask from where you drew your inspiration?
Oh, do you share a liking for poetry as well?
Once in a while, I throw words at each other and see what sticks.
Yeah, there's no need for self-deprecation. I've seen people from all walks of life. And I can tell just from the way your sleeves flutter in the wind that you are a man of culture. Anyway, I'm preparing for the tournament final that will be held shortly. Anyone feeling poetic? I need ideas. Tournament final? Ooh, you mean the Genius Invocation TCG tournament? Yeah, that's the one. My next opponent is no small fry. Most of the time he's so unassuming you couldn't pick him out of a crowd. But during this tournament, it's like he sprang up out of the ground like a whopper flower and took the competition completely by surprise. So I have a strong feeling that this will be a tough battle to win. Then shouldn't you be focusing on your strategy? How is writing poetry gonna help? Because skill doesn't thrill unless you've also got style. What? Let me give you an example you'd be more familiar with. To make a great dish, it takes not just flavor, but presentation too. Ever heard the saying, it takes 2 flint to light a fire? Same principle applies when you're trying to make an impression. That sounds like it makes sense. Or does it? Oh, Paimon can never tell with Hu Tao.
In duels to the death, some samurai pay each other respects before the fight. Often, the two opponents find they have much in common.
See? New guy gets it. What did I say? A man of culture.
You flatter me, Director Who. In my humble opinion, you could try incorporating your competitive aspirations into your lines. Or perhaps some words to intimidate your opponent.
Oh, we have an expert among us. Hey, why don't you play a match with me? It'll help me warm up and maybe find some creative inspiration.
As much as I'd like to oblige, I'm afraid that I haven't played before. I don't even have my own deck.
You can use my deck.
Perfect! Paimon really wants to watch you play. How about Paimon gives Kazuha a crash course right now?
Since everyone is so willing to offer their help, how can I refuse?
So there you have it! Those are the rules! Paimon also included a few little tips and tricks she's picked up from watching the Traveler play. Well, think you can handle it from here, Kazuha?
I think I've got it. Thank you, Paimon-sensei.
Sensei? Wow! Paimon's never been called that before! Well, Kazuha? Ready to go one-on-one against Liyue's most notorious backstreet poet?
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity, Director Who.
Any last words before the duel begins?
One moment. Okay, I think I've got something.
Wow, that was fast.
All right. Say your piece, Challenger.
Whoa, things are really heating up.
Minds like sharp blades clash. Friendship forged through cards and dice. Autumn leaves burn bright. I, Kaedehara Kazuha, humbly accept this duel.
The birds are chirping, the weather's so nice. Watch me roll 6 pyro dice. Director Who of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is ready for battle.
Let's have a change of genre there.
My turn. Chi?
I am defeated. It's no wonder that Director Who has earned a spot in the tournament finals.
Talk about an exciting match, though.
Good thing I was able to send off all those summons of yours. I have to say, it's hard to believe that this was your first time playing.
I owe it all to Paimon-sensei's teaching.
Huh? You really mean that? Yay!
That'd be nice.
Ah, shucks! Now Paimon's embarrassed. Well, Kazuha, did you enjoy Genius Invocation TCG?
Yes, indeed. There is a good variety of card abilities, and the tempo of the match can swing in an instant. I understand now why it's become so popular across Teyvat.
Oh, seems the world's gained yet another TCG player.
Ka-ching! When did you get here?
Shortly after these two had begun their match, everyone seemed so focused on the game that I didn't want to interrupt. You must be Kaedehara Kazuha? Your reputation precedes you. It's an honor to finally meet you.
Please, the honor is all mine. I have heard great things about the esteemed Yuheng from Captain Beidou.
Just call me Kuching. You played very well indeed, considering it was your first time. I'm impressed. If we ever have the opportunity, I too would like to play a match with you.
Wow, Kazuha's already lined up his next opponent.
Why so surprised? Practically everyone at Yujing Terrace is playing Genius Invocation TCG these days. I also play from time to time, when time permits.
It would be my pleasure to join you for a match. However, I can't borrow the Traveler's deck forever. Our match might have to wait until after I manage to obtain my own casket of tomes.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. When we get back to the tournament venue, I'll ask a member of the Genius Invocation TCG Society to provide one for you. And please don't think about returning the favor. I assure you it's no inconvenience. Besides, a friend of the Traveler is a friend of us all.
Thanks, Kuching.
I am grateful for your kindness, Kuching.
Pleasure. Also, Hutao, the final is about to start. I just came to make sure you're aware.
Don't worry. It might look like my mind's on other things, but I'm still listening. Thorough preparation is the key to victory, after all.
Will you all be coming with us to the venue?
Actually, there's something we wanted to discuss.
All right, back to the task at hand. We're investigating a card snatcher. Have any of you seen someone going around collecting Genius Invocation card backs recently?
Card backs? You mean like the kind with a treasure chest design on it?
Yes, exactly. That's the one.
Funny. The word snatcher didn't come to mind when I saw him. He struck me as more of a potential client. I saw him playing a match against Chongyun this morning. He said that whoever lost would have to hand over their card back.
It was close, but he managed to beat Chongyun in the end. After the match, he wiped the sweat from his forehead, took the card back from Chongyun, and left.
Sounds like we need to go talk to Chongyun then.
In that case, try Uwang Hill. I think that's where he should be.
If I may ask, what else is this alleged card snatcher suspected of doing?
We don't know too much about him, apart from his obsession with card backs. But apparently, he's stolen other players' cards before.
I see. I'll inform the Millilith to be on the lookout for this individual. But while he's still at large, make sure you stay safe.
I think I'll go with the Traveler to Uwang Hill.
Alright, see you later.
You're looking in the final direction.
With so many people rooting for me, I'm sure the match will be over before I can say phew.
Alright, let's go find Chongyun.
Hey, don't panic. I'm sure we'll find her.
Chongyun, we found you!
Paimon, Traveler. And...
Hello, I am Kaida Harakazuha.
Hi, I'm Chongyun, an exorcist from Liyue. Long story short, this boy lost his friend while they were playing hide and seek.
I told little you not to hide anywhere too far away, but I've looked everywhere, and I still can't find her.
Uh-oh, it could be dangerous to get lost out here in the wilderness. We'll help look for her too. Did you see which direction she went?
Yeah, I kind of peeked a little bit when I was counting. She went that way.
Okay, then let's start looking in that direction. Little you? Little you? Where are you?
A snapped branch and some trampled grass. It looks like the girl was hiding here.
Not the treasure hoarders again. Oh, let's hope little you didn't run into them.
Mind the side effects.
Seriously, why are we always running into these guys?
Hey, everyone! Have a look at this.
Are those Genius Invocation cards?
Oh, I know that one. It belongs to little you. Her dad gave her a deck, and it's her favorite thing. She takes it with her everywhere.
So little you is definitely here. But there's a fork in the road up ahead. Oh, which way should we go?
Wait a moment. Did Little Yu's father also give her a small box to store the cards?
Yeah, a casket of tomes. I have one too.
Right, I can find it.
Of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Right, I can locate nearby.
Yes. As long as she still has the box with her, we should be able to determine her location.
Quick, get our casket of tomes out! Let's see. There's Changyun and little Fang. Aha! There's another player over there! That must be little you.
Little you!
Little Fong? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone so far away. I was trying to find a hiding place, but then I saw a bunch of really angry-looking guys and I got scared. So I ran and ran till I ended up here.
Don't worry. We've already taken care of the bad guys. But Uwang Hill is full of yin energy. You shouldn't be playing in a place like this. Understand?
Yes, sir. We won't do it again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Of course. Now, don't go running off. Hang tight for a moment, and I'll walk you both home.
Paimon's glad she was okay.
Me too. Good on Kazuha for coming up with the Casket of Tomes idea.
Yeah, how did the rest of us not think of that? Huh. Guess we use it so often when we're playing cards that it didn't occur to us to use it for anything else. What a nifty little gadget. The Sumeru scholars who invented it must be super brainy. Oh, by the way, Changyun, we wanted to ask you about something.
Oh, I knew there was something fishy about his obsession with card backs. I can't believe it. I let a thief slip right through my fingers. Oh. Deep breaths. Stay calm.
It's not your fault. You didn't know what his intentions were. If I'd been in your shoes and he invited me to a duel on the same terms, I doubt I'd have sensed anything untoward either.
Exactly. He's crafty. If you're not paying attention, he'll just steal the card he wants. And if that doesn't work, he'll come up with some other way to get his hands on it.
Did he happen to say anything after he got the card back?
Not a lot. He seemed to be in a hurry. He just packed up his things and then left for the docks. But I did hear him grumbling about how far away Inazuma is, and how he wasn't looking forward to the boat journey.
This guy sure talks to himself a lot. Well, it sounds like a pretty solid lead, so Paimon thinks we should follow it. But first, we should stop by the venue.
Then I guess I'll take Little Fong and Little Yu home now. Though I'd really rather help track down that thief.
Don't worry, leave the class an after 2.
Sure. I'm counting on you.
Whoa. Is it just Paimon, or did things suddenly get gloomier here after Changyun left? Huh. Come on, let's get out of here.
What an incredible match. Truly mesmerizing to watch two players compete at such a high level.
What? We missed the final again? Ugh, Paimon was hoping we'd at least get to catch a glimpse of the final round.
You're back. Did you find Chongyun? Everything go smoothly?
There were a few hiccups along the way, but in the end, it all turned out fine. So Hu Tao, did you win your match?
Of course! It didn't go quite as phew as I'd expected, but all in all, it was still a good ol' wham bam I'd like to thank my fam! My opponent was no pushover. We both took out a couple of each other's character cards before it came down to the decisive round. I closed my eyes, held my breath, and clenched the dice tightly in my hand as I prayed for the blessings of all my supporters in the audience, both visible and invisible. Wink, wink. Can you guess what happened next?
What happened?
Channeling all my skill and style, with a flick of the wrist, I released the dice from my hands and shouted my battle cry at the top of my lungs.
Watch me roll 6 pyro dice!
And lo and behold, when the dice came to rest, I counted precisely 6 of the pyro persuasion. It was all over before I could say, "Pyre, pyre, pants on fire."
Amazing.
Sounds like your poem worked like a charm.
Director Who's playstyle is rapid but graceful, like a lone butterfly navigating the depths of a forest. With a little luck beneath her wings, she soared above the competition.
Luck is a key ingredient in every success. Wouldn't you agree, Traveler?
Oh, it's Ningguang and Charlotte! Finished with your business meeting?
Yep. I have to say, the Tianquan has a very incisive mind. She's extremely insightful. I gotta admit, I'm kinda envious of Baiwen now. Oh, wow. You must be Kaidahara Kazuha.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Charlotte.
First the Traveler, now Kazuha. Feels like I've been inducted into the Tevat Heroes Club. I remember when you made the headlines of the Steambird. Young samurai blocks the Muso no Hitotachi. You captured the public imagination in Fontaine for some time.
My oh my. I had no idea I was up against such a legendary warrior in our card duel earlier.
That's all in the past now. I count myself as the fortunate one today for this chance to make so many new friends.
Today is indeed a momentous day to have brought us all together. I propose that I treat everyone to a meal to mark the occasion, if it pleases you all.
Oh? Sounds like it's victory meal time. Count me in.
You'll have to excuse me for a moment while I wrap things up at the tournament venue. I'll join you all later.
This is great! We can have a nice hearty meal and get a good sleep tonight before heading off to Inazuma tomorrow.
Inazuma, does this mean you found a new lead on the Card Snatcher?
Sure did! Investigating is what we do best! Well, okay, guess luck played a part in it too.
I still have some things to take care of here in Liyue, so I'm afraid I won't be able to accompany you to Inazuma.
Okay, but remember to keep working on your genius invocation skills. You never know when Paimon-sensei will show up for a surprise inspection!
I've also heard some things about this card snatcher you're pursuing.
Already? Well, nothing gets past Ningguang, huh?
A new card back appeared on the market recently. It's extremely rare and bears an image of a treasure chest. Some players are willing to pay exorbitant amounts of more for things of this nature, as they believe they can improve their luck. So I looked into them briefly to see whether there was any genuine commercial value in them. I quickly learned that every card back with that particular design had been scooped up overnight. There's not a single one left in all of Liyue. Initially, I thought this might be just another case of a merchant hoarding goods in hopes of maximizing their profits. But once I heard more, I realized it must be the thief you are after.
Is there anything else unusual about these card backs other than their rarity?
Unfortunately, since I didn't manage to procure one for myself, I'm unable to say for sure. All I know is that despite being custom-made, they are not particularly exquisite. If they were, you can be sure I would have purchased one sooner.
The mystery of this card snatcher gets more baffling at every turn.
It doesn't matter. Given how much he likes to talk to himself, he's sure to spill all his secrets sooner or later.
Every journey into the unknown is a mystery waiting to be solved. But often it is encounters with the unexpected that make the journey all the more interesting. For instance, it was certainly a pleasant surprise for me today to meet top talents from all around Teyvat.
By the way, does Captain Beto play Genius Invocation TCG by any chance?
Yes. In fact, she's one of the best in the whole Crux fleet.
Would you mind putting in a word for me, Kazuha? I'm a longtime fan of Captain Beto's. I always hoped I'd be friends with her someday, but so far I've never had the chance.
Sure. But please be gentle when you inevitably defeat her in Genius Invocation.
Hi there, my name's Charlotte. I'm a reporter for the Steambird. Could I borrow a moment of your time for a brief interview?
Sure. Go ahead.
You made a promising start in this competition, leaving many contenders in the dust on your way to the finals, before narrowly missing out on a championship win when you lost to Director Hu Tao of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. It must be difficult for you knowing how close you came to victory. With this in mind, would you like to share your thoughts on how the final match played out?
Sorry. Do you want an answer for the media, or do you want my actual thoughts?
I'd like to hear your actual thoughts, of course.
Well, I've always said that playing cards is 70% skill and 30% luck. But when your opponent rolls 6 dice of the same element at once, there's no coming back from that. Not even with Adeptus level skills. So there was no hope for a mere adventurer like me.
Ah.
night was so much fun! Paimon had a great time chatting with everyone. Hopefully, we'll find someone in Inazuma to treat us to a meal too.
Chatting? From what I saw, you were eating the entire time, Paimon.
Hey! Not the entire time.
Hi there, my name's Charlotte. I'm a reporter for... Could I borrow a moment? You made a promise with this in mind.
Sorry.
I'd like to hear your act...
Well...
Is she still doing? I might miss this happening. I might have missed. Don't know if they're still there or they have what. I think they're gone. So Miss Ningguang's... Miss Ningguang's dialogue, huh? Oh well. What did she say? I've heard that even the official Genius Invocation Time is enjoying a huge turnout. Many COCC players registered for both the official and non-official one. So me don't mind trying my hand on this trending game from time to time, but I still prefer chess. Well, when it comes down to it, I have a difference there. Maybe we should get players doing the army or something fun things coming. They bring friends together. Right. I should have teleported yet. Oh well. Can't do what I miss, so should I be more careful?
Whoa, look! Promo posters everywhere from the moment you arrive in the harbor. Paimon gets more and more curious about the two inventors of this game every time we see the posters.
You're not the only one. There's so little information to go off of that there's all sorts of wild speculations about them. Some people say that they invented the game after the God of Wisdom gave them an epiphany, while others say that they're not actually the inventors at all. By the way, have you two ever read a book called King of Invocations?
I've only heard of it. I haven't read it, no.
Well, it's a story about a young boy who gets possessed by the spirit of the Crocodile King and becomes a TCG player. It's quite fascinating. I made sure to read it before coming on this trip. Some people have even speculated that the author of the King of Invocations is the boy who was possessed, while the true inventors of the game are the Crocodile King and Ibis King from the legends.
Each of these theories gets more ridiculous than the last.
Exactly! Which is why the original author came forward to deny these rumors. But that only fueled the debate further, and the book's sales skyrocketed. It can't be denied that the King of Invocations novels are a major part of why Genius Invocation TCG has become so popular. Just look at the venue. They're almost treating this like a national festival. I bet the book is going to sell more copies after this.
You can be sure that the Fox Lady is behind all this.
Fox Lady?
Yeah, Yai Miko. She's chief editor of the Yai Publishing House. Paimon can just imagine her eating some fried tofu as she instructs her editors to use this event to boost light novel sales.
Oh, yes, I've been in that situation many times myself. Although in our case, the boss would be drinking coffee and talking about newspaper sales.
Sounds like bosses are the same everywhere.
The scenery in every nation is so different. This trip is really paying dividends.
Good thing that you're able to be so optimistic about it. It sounded like you were pretty much forced to come on this trip whether you wanted to or not. Huh? Wait. Is that who Paimon thinks it is? It's A!
Traveler, Paimon, we meet again.
Oh? Who is this?
Allow Paimon to introduce you. Seems like that's all Paimon's been doing these past few days. Anyway, this is Charlotte. She's a journalist from Fontaine. And this is A. She's Inazuma's Archon.
What? You mean Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Ogosho, God of Thunder? Hello. Please forgive me for not recognizing you.
As a guest from afar, there's no need to be so formal.
Right, okay. Oh, each of your acquaintances is more impressive than the last.
Miko invited me here to experience the fun and festivities, along with everybody else.
Oh, Paimon gets it. The tournament venue is full of excitement and tasty food, and Miko didn't want you to miss out.
I guess I'll let you catch up for now. We can meet up later, just like last time.
Sure thing. See you, Charlotte.
Perhaps she felt a little intimidated by me.
She's probably fine. Don't worry, she didn't leave because of you. We've split up like this in previous places we visited, too. So, how do you like Genius Invocation TCG? Paimon bets you're enjoying watching the tournament matches.
Well, in fact, I myself am competing in the tournament.
Wait, really?
Why is that surprising? Playing cards is an ancient form of entertainment, and I was curious to see what card games are like in this day and age.
Tournament time.
I advanced all the way to the semifinals.
The semifinals? That's amazing! So when's your next match?
Unfortunately,
The semifinals is where my journey ended. The reason being...
The reason being that she lost to me. And when I say lost, that doesn't begin to do it justice. It was quite a humiliating defeat.
Didn't see that coming.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
I only lost because I was duped by her little tricks.
What's wrong with my little tricks? Trickery within the scope of the rules is better known as ingenuity. It's not my fault that some people spend all their time cooped up in Tenshukaku and never have the chance to hone their skills.
What a unique friendship.
Huh. You're right, though. I should make an effort to get out more. Many things have changed now that Inazuma is at peace. However, it seems that some people continue to fear the divine light, just as before. In some of my tournament matches, I could see my opponent's hands shaking, hesitant to play their cards. Now that I think about it, perhaps they were scared of what would happen if they defeated me.
Oh,
Oh, dear, dear. Other players lose their games and throw a tantrum. You win yours, and yet you still find a reason to mope about it. I invited you out for some simple fun and games. Oh, I should have known you'd be like this. Anyway, you should watch and learn, because I plan on using some more of my little tricks to defeat that divine priestess from Watatsumi Island.
Oh, so Kokomi's your opponent in the finals?
Mm-hmm. On one side will be your erstwhile comrade in arms, the leader of Watatsumi Island, and on the other will be head shrine maiden Yae Miko, the wise and beautiful. So, little one, who will you support?
Miko, come on. No need to put them on the spot like that.
I know. I just wanted to see how they'd react. The venue is right over there. Why not go and take a walk around? Oh, and if you meet my fellow finalist, do pass on my regards.
Miko, the people of Inazuma are afraid of me.
And for good reason, no? A bolt of lightning from you would make even my fur stand on end.
You know I would never do such a thing.
Nor would I eat anyone. Yet a writer of mine seems convinced that I'd turn into an evil kitsune and eat him alive if he doesn't submit his drafts on time. Honestly, where do people get these ideas? Although to be fair, after I learned that he was afraid of me, I did start acting like I might actually eat him. Needless to say, his punctuality is now improving with each draft.
Fingers crossed he comes traveling with me.
I should really make a decision. For her sake.
Fingers crossed he comes traveling with me.
I should really make a decision. For her sake.
Hey, compadre. And Flying Lavender Melon.
Oh, bullchucker! Don't call Paimon that in public!
Did you two compete in the tournament? Where is my mouse?
What would this tournament be without Arataki, the ultimate TCG champion, Ito? Matter of fact, the whole Arataki gang showed up in force. Our goal? To bring home the grand prize.
As fate would have it, Boss was the only one who didn't make it out of the qualifiers.
What? Hey, that's not the point. It was just some bad luck, that's all. I got matched against a strong opponent in the first round. Besides, it was a close match. It could have swung either way.
I wouldn't exactly call losing in 3 rounds a close match.
Hey, Shinobu, cut me some slack in front of my friends, okay? Anyway, it's not like you did much better. Weren't you beaten by that fish lady? Sandy Mamma Mia, whatever her name was?
Sangonomiya Kokomi? Watatsumi Island's military strategist? Yes, she beat me fair and square. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, anyway, I've noticed something in this competition. If you want to win big here, you need style. That's right, I'm talking card backs. I lost my match because my backs were whack.
But the style of card backs and a player's skill don't have anything to do with each other.
Oh, no, that's where you're wrong, Mini Milan. It's just like how the strongest Oni Kabuto have the brightest colors on their back. If your cards look cool, then you'll definitely draw a better hand.
Beetle fighting and playing TCGs are completely different. In cards, you actually have to rely on your own skill.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's no use arguing with you. Why don't we let our friend here weigh in,
Let me play a match and see.
Hey, you're right. That's a pretty neat idea. How about this? Shinobu, lend me your deck. You've got some pretty slick card backs. But the Traveler probably has cool card backs too. Maybe even better than yours. Okay, in that case, you can use my deck.
Boss, how do I put this? Nobody could win with that deck of yours, no matter who uses it.
Hey, quit busting my chops! Sheesh. What do you say, Traveler? You got time for a match now?
Oh, yes, that makes
Great!
sense.
See? This is what I call a true compadre!
All right, I'll be the judge then. Just remember to take it easy, you two. This isn't a high-stakes match. It really doesn't matter who wins or loses.
Oh, shh. No, do you guys hear that? It's the cry of my cards, cheering me on in the wind.
My cards, you mean?
Damn, there's some synergy with that. Not 100% sure.
We're gonna make this the most exhilarating TCG duel ever, compadre.
I don't think either side will have a good time dealing with Boss's deck.
Time for some training?
What's with these cursed looking dice rolls?
Step aside. Ito's back in town.
Hi!
emerge.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that. Can I throw in this? Don't want these, right? After that polling.
Rest and rebuild!
Show them.
Oops.
At least I'm going down with style.
I should have healed him first.
Ho ho! Now you see what the champ is capable of!
You have my deck to thank for that.
Can I even win still? Okay, these. What's with this curse locking roll dice roll? I don't know why it's like this.
Take this, compadre!
Nothing lasts forever.
I'll scout ahead.
I'm not doing very well. Chef swapped over. Ah, these ring roll dice and all. God, all of them.
Get back! Nothing I've never seen.
Fly!
Take me back. Ugh. One with my blade.
The fun is over. Boss, you're gonna lose if you keep this up.
Hey, chill. Let me show you what happens when numero uno goes mano a mano.
Mano a mano? We're still talking about cards, right?
Just like we rehearsed.
Submit for judgment.
No. Not like this.
Huh. Managed to win.
Huh. I can't believe I lost.
And I can't believe your deck won. That takes some serious skill. Anyway, what are you two doing here?
This can go either way. Man.
Have you seen her around? Or, as Arataki numero uno idioso so eloquently called her, the Fish Lady.
You're one to talk, Lavender Melon.
Her match in the finals will be starting shortly, so she can't be far. Why don't you ask Kujo Sara over there? The Tenryo Commission is in charge of managing access to the venue and maintaining order.
Hey, just remember that if you ever want to play another match, you can find me anytime. What's up, compadre? You here to play another game? No worries. You go do what you got.
Hi, Sarah. We're looking for Kokomi. Have you seen her anywhere?
I saw her exit the venue after the semifinals, but she hasn't returned since.
If you're looking for Her Excellency, I believe she's currently near the western shore of Rito.
Goro! Good to see you.
Hello, you two. Is there something the matter?
No, we just wanted to say hello to Kokomi.
Now that I think about it, her opponent in the finals will be a tough one to beat.
Who are you rooting for, Sarah?
Up till now, the almighty Shogun had my full support. But now that she's been eliminated from the tournament, in truth, I don't really care.
Paimon thought for sure you'd be rooting for Miko.
I certainly would, in the past. But now that the islands of Narukami and Watatsumi are on amiable terms, we're all friends.
Those are exactly Her Excellency's thoughts as well. The point of a game of cards between friends is to exchange skills and enjoy the game together. It's not about who wins or loses. She hopes that this spirit of friendly competition will define Inazuma going forward.
A commendable attitude. Her opponent is skilled in the art of deception. Even if she appears to have worry written all over her face, don't fall for it. She's likely trying to lead you into a trap.
It's nice to see two generals who were once enemies on the battlefield now looking out for each other.
Do not be mistaken. I speak only in the interest of fairness. The moment I saw the name Sangonomiya on the list of competitors, I anticipated that she would make it into the finals to face the almighty Shogun. I've watched every one of her matches. She constantly adapts her strategy and excels at employing rare and unusual tactics. But after the almighty Shogun's loss, I'm afraid that Lady Guji may also have caught wind of Kokomi's strategies.
Oh, so you want to make sure Kokomi's got intel on the other side too? Wow. Trust Sora to make sure everything is fair and above board.
Thanks for your insights, General Kujo. I will be sure to pass them along to Her Excellency.
Don't mention it. The match will be starting shortly. Please, let her know to get back to the venue soon.
All right, then I'll get going.
This is the Outlander Affairs Agency. Please have your
Propagate!
proof of identification ready.
Kokomi!
Paimon? Oh, and the Traveler's here too.
Surprised to see us? We came to wish you good luck in the competition. So, what are you doing out here, Kokomi? Taking in the view?
Yes. The soothing sound of the ocean's waves do make me feel peaceful. But I actually came here hoping to see Watatsumi Island.
Huh? Can you really see Watatsumi Island from here? Let Paimon take a look.
Well, can you see it?
Let's see. Oh, that must be Kanazuka. And a little further than that, there's Yashiori Island. Nope, can't see Watatsumi.
Even on a perfectly clear day like this, you can't see Watatsumi Island from Narukami Island. Imagine trying to see it when the islands were surrounded by storms. Though the islands are on peaceful terms now, the dark clouds of war still linger in some people's hearts. Even when friends argue, they still need time to reconcile. Think of how much time is needed when the conflicting sides could never even see each other.
You okay, Kokomi?
Oh, sorry. My mind was drifting to some more serious topics.
Since all the reasons. You didn't join the zone just to play cards. It can be more than just...
Yes, I thought you might understand. Huh? What are you talking about?
Who wins and who loses isn't what's most important. What's important is that Her Excellency came here to compete with all of Inazuma watching.
Yes, more people will be traveling between Watatsumi and Narukami Island from this day forward. The point I hope to make is, even though we believe in different gods, we can all come together as friends by playing cards at the table. We should be willing to cooperate and assist one another in the future. You could say that I'm playing cards to help dissolve enmity.
Use a simple game of cards to drive major social change.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Besides, my passion has always been in tactics and strategy. How could I pass up the chance to play in a tournament for a strategic game like this? Oh, so you have your personal reasons to play too! Yes, partly. You should be careful of that fox lady. Even Sarah warned us that she'll be a cunning opponent.
Yes. It seems that you're not the only one who sees this tournament as a chance to resolve our differences, Your Excellency.
Oh, that's good to hear. Don't worry, Paimon. I've already thought of a variety of stratagems for the match. Wow! Paimon's really looking forward to the final now! And Paimon swears that she's actually gonna see it this time, no matter what! Paimon won't let herself get distracted, not even by all the tasty snacks in Inazuma! Thank you. All right, let's go. Respect must be given to the will of every creature. Each fish in the ocean swims in its own direction. Yae Publishing House has released numerous works that lay out military strategy in a simple and pragmatic way. Those are my favorite. Respect must be given to the will of every creature. Each fish in the ocean swims in its own direction.
To survive hardship, you must prepare for hardship. Yae Publishing House has released numerous works that lay out military strategy in a simple and pragmatic way. Those are my favorite. Respect must be given to the will of every creature. Each fish in the ocean swims in its own direction. Let's move out.
Any outlanders that have trouble, feel free to visit the international.
Inazuma's Archon bolts her way to the semifinals, only to be stunned by a crafty opponent.
Ooh, that's a nice title.
Lightning from Inazuma won't be able to reach me in Fontaine, right?
I don't think the Electro Archon would get upset over a minor thing like this.
Hey, what are you two chatting about? Oh, wait a second. The real question is, how many times are we gonna run into Kirara?
Talk about a coincidence, right? What are the chances?
I interviewed a few people around Rito, but no more details on the card snatcher, unfortunately. After that, I ran into Kirara here. We got to chatting, and then I found out that she knew you too.
Sorry, you said the card snatcher?
Oh, let Paimon explain.
I think I already have some insights regarding the truth of this matter.
Really? That fast?
But it's a little complicated, and the finals are about to start. Let me put it this way, though. The key to this case is actually Kirara.
Huh? Wait, what? Me?
Having chatted with Kirara, I was starting to think the same thing.
Sorry, I don't have time to explain now. We'll have to continue after the tournament's finished.
Paimon's still trying to wrap her head around that. If Kokomi was only working off of what Paimon told her, how come Paimon can't find the answer? Oh, is Paimon really as dumb as a lavender melon?
Don't worry about it, let's watch the competition.
Okay.
Welcome to the final round of the King of Invocations Grand Prix Inazuman Regional Final! Our contestants are Guji Yai Miko of the Grand Narukami Shrine versus Sangonomiya Kokomi, Divine Priestess of the Sangonomiya Shrine. Without further ado, let the final match begin!
Yay, it's starting!
Now, to find out who will play first.
You took your time. I was starting to wonder if you got lost walking on the seabed, Miss Soul of the Deep. You must be tired after the walk back to shore. Perhaps I should let you go first.
There's no need. I've heard that fried tofu with all the frills gets cold quickly. If we don't serve it right away, then I'm afraid it'll become a cold, greasy mess.
Round 1. Begin! And the winner is... Sangonomiya Kokomi, the Divine Priestess from Watatsumi Island.
She won! Kokomi did it!
Whew. Just seeing that Kitsune yokai made the fur on my tail stand on end.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Thank you.
Kokomi! That was a real nail-biter, but you did it! That Miko is a crafty one, pretending she had no strategy and letting one of her own character cards get defeated. Then she played 2 cards from her hand that required to have lost a character card. She came pretty close to turning the match around.
Goodness, what's all the commotion over here? Discussing something interesting behind my back?
Not at all. Paimon was just saying what a real pity it was that you lost.
It's no pity at all. It was just a little fun competition. We'll see who wins next time. What do you say, Miss Soul of the Deep? How about a rematch?
If Miss Fried Tofu with all the frills hasn't gotten too cold, I would be happy to play. However, the traveler here is waiting for me to help them solve a puzzle they've been facing.
Oh, really? Then I won't disturb you. I'll go play with Goro instead. It's been a while since I've seen those fuzzy ears of his.
Now, back to our conversation. Kirara, you've been delivering items between different nations for the past several days, correct?
That's right. I've had quite a few deliveries recently. But what does that have to do with the Card Snatcher?
The strange thing is that Kirara's delivery route has coincided with the Card Snatcher's movements at every turn.
Yes, and therein lies the clue.
You mean, Kirara is the Card Snatcher?
Huh? Hey, that's not true. I'm just out here doing my job. You can't just throw false accusations at a person. I mean, a yokai like this.
Calm down, you two. Kirara's not the thief. Let me ask you, Kirara. Have any of your packages in the past few days been from the same sender? Or were any sent to the same destination?
Let me think. Senders have all been different. But there's one destination that keeps coming up in every region I've been to.
Really? And what destination is that?
I'm not at liberty to give you the exact address, but I can tell you that it's in Sumeru.
Were the contents light? No larger than the size of an envelope?
Huh? Wait. You're not one of those yokai who has prophetic dreams, are you? I used to hear stories about that when I was curled up on my grandma's lap.
No, I'm only the divine priestess of Watatsumi Island. I just like to read light novels and books about military strategy. Divination's not my field. Well, after all I've said so far, have you arrived at the same answer as me?
Let me see.
Every nation Kirara visited had a parcel sent to Sumeru. The contents were light and were no larger than an envelope. The contents were probably Genius Invocation cards. We've run into Kirara multiple times throughout our trip. We came to Inazuma because we tracked the thief here. No, that doesn't seem to be the answer. No. No.
Alright.
There doesn't seem to be any more leads. Every nation Kirara... No. No. We came to Inazuma...
Well, after all...
Oh. The thief is likely using Komania Express to send packages. No. Kirara's deliveries contain the treasure chest card backs.
Yes! You nailed it!
Huh? So the card backs we've been looking for have been right under our noses all along?
But there's still one thing that doesn't quite add up. Kirara picked up her package in Mondstadt before we encountered the card snatcher. The timing doesn't make sense.
I've thought about that too. The way I see it, there's more than just one thief involved.
We're training not one, but multiple guys now?
Yes. The person you've been tracking most likely is one member of the group. It seems the other members had already obtained the card backs and sent them together.
Now that I think about it, collecting all those card backs across so many nations would be near impossible for just one person.
But why isn't the one we're following ever using Komania Express?
Because he's too slow. He probably missed the arranged shipment date. Well, that's how I figure it at least. From your explanation, he's only committed theft on one occasion, and there were even witnesses. After that, he's been trading or playing to collect the card backs. I suspect that this person isn't a very good thief. He probably used the mora he was given to arrange shipments with Komania Express as funds to use for trading.
Then there's another question now. Why don't the other members just keep the cards and take them back to Sumeru themselves? Unless there's a reason for them to stay.
Yes, this is a question I'm still grappling with now. What is the thief's objective? What kind of secret is hidden behind these card backs? Unfortunately, there's no way to know without seeing one for ourselves.
Hey, don't look at me like that. I can't just open a customer's parcel. If the company ever found out, I'd be fired on the spot! And I don't want to go back to being a yokai in the mountains of Inazuma!
No, we don't want to cause you any trouble, of course. At this point, maybe it would be best for you all to accompany Kirara to Sumeru.
Good idea. Going to the delivery location is the only lead worth following now. And if the recipient really is a bad guy, then Kirara could be in danger. We should come along to make sure you're safe.
I can be a bad guy.
Hey, I know my way around a fight too. I haven't had a single package stolen from me since I've started this job. Whenever someone picks on me thinking I'd be an easy target to take packages from, I send them running.
Let's get to the bottom of this. I'm so sad about safety.
Let me think about it. All right, I'll let you come with me to the delivery point in Sumeru. But on one condition. You have to promise that you'll hide somewhere where the customer can't see you. Who's ever heard of a group of people delivering packages?
No problem. You got it.
Also, even if the customer is a bad guy and has stolen things, we should leave that for the local authorities to handle.
Absolutely.
Next up, Sumeru! Oh, we're really traveling all over the place this time.
Good luck. You'll have to tell me how everything turns out the next time we meet.
This is the Outlander Affairs Agency.
Woo! That match between Fox Lady and Fish Lady really got my blood racing. The sweat's practically boiling off my forehead.
Yes, yes. I'm sure all of Rito knows how excited you are, but the gang's all waiting for us. We should be heading back now.
They can wait a little longer. At least let my compadre and I play one last match. You can't say no to that. Pretty please? Fine. It's okay, I don't blame you. But you should probably leave. You don't want to see a grown Oni cry.
General Kujo, could I have a word with you?
Yes. Congratulations on your victory, Sangonomiya Kokomi.
I wanted to express my gratitude for the helpful advice you provided before the match.
It was nothing. Anyone with a good head on their shoulders knows that skill and strategy ultimately determine the winner. In any case, it was an exciting match to watch.
It was unfortunate that you didn't register for the tournament as well.
I'm afraid I'd be no match for you.
Don't say that. You're not so different from me. Seeking chances to hone your skills in the game, considering countermeasures, and competing with others as if they're friends?
Perhaps you have a point. In that case, let's play a match of Genius Invocation before you depart for Narukami Island.
It would be my pleasure.
I heard you refer to the opponent as a Kitsune yokai earlier. Could you tell me a little more about that? Don't leave out any details. Who knows? Maybe there's something I'll be able to use in my news piece.
Oh, I better not. I'm afraid of saying something wrong. Besides, I'm not really the most qualified yokai to answer questions.
Okay, then maybe you could help explain why a kitsune would have any interest in fried tofu?
Now your questions are making me hungry. Why don't I just take you to try some kitsune ramen here in Inazuma? I can explain while we eat.
Residency in Rito, please submit your completed...
That match between Fox Lady and Fish...
yeah.
They can wait a little longer. At least let... That's my
Serious.
I just want to see if there's any new.
We're gonna make this the most exhilarating TCG duel ever, compadre.
I don't think he...
I am the man! Bam!
Fly!
Come on out.
Allow me.
Who wants some of this? Nothing I've never seen.
Fly!
At least I'm going down with style.
Keep forgetting the summons.
Oh! Now you see what the champ is capable of!
You have my deck to thank for that.
I keep forgetting about the summons.
Take this, compadre!
Just like we rehearsed.
Time for some training? Swift and merciful.
Boss, you're gonna lose if you keep this up.
Hey, chill. Let me show you what happens when numero uno goes mano a mano.
Mano a mano? We're still talking about cards, right?
A sight to behold.
After all that training, I'll watch your back. Take me back. Ugh. Time for some training?
Come on out.
Yeah, that's the main boss. Keep forgetting about the songs.
After all that training.
Okay, that's it for today.